Published 1800 EDT, the 28th of October 2017. Updated 1800 EDT, the 28th of October 2017. Monday, October 2nd. Radio Times has published its list of the 100 most influential people on TV. On a positive note, I was the only breakfast show presenter included. The citation read, "Love him or hate him, Piers Morgan is one of the most talked about presenters in the country. He riles and delights viewers in equal measure, and with Susanna Reid has breathed new life into ITV's morning schedule." On a less positive note, I was 94th. Newspapers said Ioan Gruffudd is Britain's most hated man because of the evil character he played in Liar. Piers is thrilled he's no longer top of the list. For someone who feels that even silver and bronze Olympic medals are for losers, this is obviously not a moment to celebrate with an open-top bus parade through my village. As with all these lists, though, the real victory comes from seeing who is placed below you. I can't even imagine how enraged Jack Whitehall will be feeling at finding himself 98th. Saturday, October 7th. Classical singer Camilla Kerslake and her England rugby star fiancé Chris Robshaw threw a fabulous engagement party tonight at 10 Trinity Square Hotel opposite the Tower of London. One of the first people I saw was Jack Whitehall. "Evening, 98, I chortled. I'm still seething," he snarled. "It's the worst humiliation I've suffered since that fan of yours asked me to take a photo of you and her outside Lord's," at which point a female relative of Camilla's raced over. "Oh my God, this is so exciting. I love you. Can I have a photo?" "Of course," I sighed. "No, not you," she exclaimed. Jack Shea then passed me her phone to take the picture. Whitehall beamed like a baby being breastfed warm milk for the first time. Sunday, October 15th. To suggest J.K. Rowling and I don't get on is like saying Liam and Noel Gallagher have sibling issues. 8 months ago, after I was abused on US TV by coarse Australian comedian Jim Jeffries, she tweeted, "Yes, watching Piers Morgan being told to F off on live TV is exactly as satisfying as I'd always imagined." I was slightly baffled by this, as Ms. Rowling and I had never met. "That's why I've never read a single word of Harry Potter," I replied, "because you had a premonition that one day the author would roar with laughter at seeing you called out for your bulls on live TV." She spat back. Then she tweeted again, "The fact-free, amoral, bigotry apologism of celebrity toady Piers Morgan is, of course, why it's so delicious to see him told to F off." This, naturally, sparked an ongoing cyber feud of rare savagery. Tonight, I took my daughter Elise, 5, and middle son Stanley, 20, to dinner at a charming Italian restaurant, Pizzicato in Kensington. Soon after we arrived, a middle-aged blonde woman sat down 2 tables away with her family. I glanced over to see her staring at me, not an unusual occurrence when I dine out, though the expressions can veer wildly between ecstatic joy and repulsed horror. This woman's face was more intensely quizzical. I watched as she furtively checked her phone before diving into animated mutterings with her family, interspersed with further glances my way. She, too, looked very familiar. Then it hit me like an electric eel squirming in my intestines. I texted Stan across the table. "Be discreet, but I think that's J.K. Rowling." Hard left a read the message, surreptitiously peered over and shook his head. Unconvinced, I sourced a photo of Ms. Rowling and her distinctive-looking bearded husband, who was blocked from my view, and sent that to Stan for further analysis. He glanced over again, then burst out laughing and replied, "Medway finished our meal and stood up to leave." "Are you going to say anything?" whispered Stan. My mind went back to an interview I once did with Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, when I urged him to make the first step in trying to forge peace with the Palestinians. "Be the bigger guy," I said then. So, I walked over. "Good evening," I said. Ms. Rowling looked up and feigned shock. "Oh, it's you." I extended my hand. She peered at it for a second or two, perhaps realizing this hand had shaken Trump's hand many times, then began to extend her own before suddenly stopping in mid-movement, and grimacing. "Really?" I said, raising an eyebrow. She looked frantically around the room, clearly weighing up the implications of snubbing my olive branch. Finally, she took my hand and shook it with all the warmth of someone greeting Dr. Hannibal Lecter. "Enjoy your meal?" I asked. "Yes, very much, thank you," she replied. "Good. Nice to meet you." I then shook hands with her husband, son and daughter, and walked out. "I'm proud of you, Father," chuckled Stan. "That was the right thing to do." Oh, I loved every second. Yes, watching J.K. Rowling being forced to shake my hand in public is exactly as satisfying as I'd always imagined. Monday, October 16th. Liar, ITV's hugely popular drama, has ended with the grisly death of evil surgeon-rapist Andrew Earlham, played by my Welsh actor mate Ioan Gruffudd. "Ioan, I am Britain's most hated man," screamed today's newspaper headlines. This, for anyone who knows him, is particularly ironic given he's probably the nicest British man alive. But from a personal perspective, it was splendid news. Finally, I'm not number one, I emailed him. Don't get too excited, mate, Johan replied. It's off air after tonight, and the mantle will be yours again.